This is a video on how to do a listing agreement for a property that you're about to put on the MLS, but a listing agreement that you are going to do the forms on card forms. So you would start by trying to get the property information off of the MLS. In this particular situation, the property I'm looking up is at 449 Southport Way in Vallejo. That's in the Barris MLS. And the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and pull up the property tax record for this property. So you would go on tax record, and search this particular property so we can get the information on that property. It's in Solano County, so I can streamline that and type in the address. Here it is. One thing you should keep in mind is the tax record for this tax ID number for this property, so I would go ahead and go ahead and copy this. Just go ahead and copy this. Then I'll go ahead and go to car. Start with new, listing agreement, residential, Southport Way, Vallejo, California, 4591. Then I'm going to add the forms that are needed in the purchase agreement. Here they are. Listing agreement, agent visual inspection disclosure, carbon monoxide detector notice, lead-based paint disclosure, market condition advisory, Megan's Law disclosure, natural hazard disclosure statement, real estate transfer disclosure statement, seller property questionnaire, seller's affidavit of non-foreign status. If there's more than one owner, you can do 2 of them or 3 of them, but it's 1 per owner. In this particular case, there's only 1 owner. Based on the tax record, you'll see there's only 1 owner, Joan Chan. So, statewide buyer and seller advisory. If it was a trust, you would add a trust advisory on the listing side. Water heater and smoke detector, statement of compliance. And then I would just go back and double check if we have everything. If it was a short sale, you'd add short sale addendum. Residential listing agreement is right there. And that's it, I think. We'll just double check here. And that looks like that's it. Okay, so we start like this. And you would type in seller. I'm meeting her on Monday, so I'm gonna go ahead and date it on Monday. And the license number is 019411501. Your own personal license number goes on here. And your name goes here. And again, I'm meeting her on Monday, so that's when I will date it. If you don't want to date it, or if you're not sure they're going to sign, you can go ahead and leave the date out. Then you can just put it in a DocuSign or have them sign when it's time to sign it. Date prepared, still I'll put it on that date. And you can begin it on that date and put it 6 months out or a year. In my case, I will go ahead and put it until December 1st. And the property address goes right here. In the city of Vallejo, in the county of Solano, and the zip code is 94591. Parcel number is what I copied on the other page. Here, this is where I got it. Tax ID number is the same as the parcel number. And I'm going to go ahead and list it at 500,000. Commission should be 6%, but I have pre-negotiated a 5% commission with the owner. And we're going to put here 90 days. This means that if after the listing period, if the property is sold in 90 days to anyone who has seen the property while we had this listing agreement, we are still entitled to a commission. Here is where we enter the commission we're offering to the cooperating broker, and we will be paying it from this total amount right here. This part here can be filled out after you speak with the owner about what items are included or excluded. If you know, this is where you would put it in. Here we put SFAR MLS is our main MLS, but this is the Barris, is the listing service for Vallejo, so I included it on there since we have cooperating agreement with Barris. You would find out from the seller if any of these items are included with the property or what is leased and what is liened. Here you would put if the seller elects to opt out of internet features, but we are always advertising online, so you would just not click that. Since it's Vallejo, we are going to go ahead and leave it up to the buyers to provide their own inspections, but if this was in a different county, like San Mateo or San Francisco, I would encourage that you provide a pest control and a property inspection and a roof inspection so that the buyers can write offers based on the current disclosed condition of the property. So this is where you write the terms, and this is what I always put. Brokers' tours and open houses be held at and since it's Vallejo and it's a different market and this home is priced a little bit higher than normal, we're gonna go ahead and take offers as they come in. But otherwise, you can write open houses to be, property to be marketed for 2 weeks of open houses and offer date to be set after first open house. Or it depends on what agreement you have with the seller. This is where you would write it in. Okay, so you put that there. And any other terms that you would like to add to this listing agreement. Oh, actually, you can also put okay. Southport Drive, Southport Way, Vallejo, California, 94591. Okay. 91. All right. And dated the 15th. Again, dated the 15th. And there we go. Okay, that's the listing agreement right there. Next, you would go to agent visual inspection disclosure or whatever forms you have here in order, and just go ahead and type in. This is the form that you're going to use to fill out what you've seen as the agent in the property, and you would type this or write it in the date you were at the property. Okay. Carbon monoxide. These are the forms required as part of the listing agreement. Lead-based paint. This is the form needed for any property built before 1978. This property was built after 1978, but we're going to go ahead and include it anyway because it says if it was built before 1978, this is the disclosure, but this property, it doesn't pertain to this property. So you can either decide to include it or exclude it, whatever your choice is. It doesn't hurt to add it, just to educate the buyer about homes with lead-based paint. Market condition advisory, this is basically saying that the market is hot. You don't know if the property is going to go up or down, but that the seller is selling it because they want to sell it and nobody's holding a gun to their head. Same thing, and it's an advisory to the buyer, kind of explaining the market and disclosing that you're writing an offer for the price you want because this is the price you want to offer. Nobody's forcing you to offer that price. Megan's Law basically tells the buyer to check the Megan's Law website to make sure there's no sex offenders in the area if that's a concern to them. Natural hazard disclosure. You go ahead and date this. But we are going to pay for a third-party report, JCP Natural Hazard. Okay, and here we go. Oh, I forgot to add here in the listing agreement. If you want to go back and forth, this is what you would do. It automatically saves it when you switch pages, but that's why it takes a little while. On this page, I would include here, if buyer does not order home warranty with crest coverage, seller to purchase home warranty not to exceed $455 with crest. And you want to try to make it fit, and you could do that by cutting some words. Ooh. Trying to make it fit, because if it doesn't fit, it's going to make a new page. There you go. So now, let's save that. And here we are. Back to this. Transferor is always the seller. Transferee is where the buyer signs. Transfer disclosure statement. This next form is to be filled out by the seller. You cannot fill this out for them, so you would have to print this out. I'll explain that later, but you would print it out for them and have them fill it out manually. Okay, date everything, make it easier. Property questionnaire, same thing. This is another form that you would just print out for them and have them sign and fill out as well. Affidavit of non-forced status. This is the other form that needs to be signed. If it's their primary residence, they would click on this first box. And if it was their primary residence where they live, then if they are not a foreign national, they would click here. And if it was their primary residence, they would click here. And this is John Chan. And they would initial here as well. Buyer and seller advisory. And the last page is where the signature is, right here. Okay. And the water heater and smoke detector advisory. All right, besides these forms, you're also going to need to include the forms that I emailed you, forms to be required with all listing agreements, and you would, well, you could print this too, print. And then you would go on the emails I sent you, forms to be included. And it would be forms to be included in listing packages. You would go ahead and print this out as well. Here you go, but you don't need, since this is in Sonoma County, you can exclude San Francisco, exclude this, exclude East Bay, and here's the Sonoma. You can exclude Sonoma as well. And have these printed as well. Print. All right. So now back to the zip forms. Save. And I would save it as 2 attachments. Save as PDF. I would save as PDF the forms that do not need to be filled out by the seller, and can be signed through DocuSign, which are these. Save as a single PDF, save to computer. Okay, you can change this to since it's not signed, I don't need to save it permanently, but just leave it like that. Okay, finish. Here, save as PDF. And now I'm going to save as a separate attachment the ones that do need to be filled out, which is transfer disclosure statement, property questionnaire, affidavit of non-foreign status, and the agent visual inspection disclosure. Save as a single PDF. also do this. And open this as well. Documents. Oops. Where is it? And we would go ahead and here is an example of the email that I would send out to the company or to the seller. I would copy this. Compose. Okay. And then you would edit the email to tailor to that property. When we meet on Monday. Since this is not an HOA property, I can go ahead and take this off. Natural hazard report. County transfer tax. Solano County. Solano. Buyer, seller pays transfer tax. You would look on the form and see that Vallejo has a transfer tax. Calculate 500,000 sale price divided by 1,000 times $3.30 per thousand. 1650. Oops. County transfer tax. Seller. $1.10 per thousand. Seller. So county transfer tax, seller pays $1.10 per thousand, so it's 500,000 divided by 1,000 is 500 times 1.1 equals $550. So you would add that here. Times 0.05. So you would estimated at $2,000 for the title and escrow fees. Solano. Buyer pays for title and escrow, so you would just add this up to give them an example. 35,000 plus 550 plus 1650 plus 2,000 equals 2920. Or 76.76. Okay. So this is an email to the seller, which I'm going to attach. First attachment is a listing agreement. Do you have any? I'm meeting her on Monday, so I'm just gonna go ahead and send it like this. here's attachments. Oopsie, actually, I have to get rid of this. What is going on here? Okay. Documents to be printed out. I'll go ahead and double check this. Man. All right. National Hazard. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, there you go. That is the email, just to send it to them for review if they'd like to review the offer. No, the disclosures and everything for the listing package.